Uh, hey, welcome everybody to This Week in Wrestling. I am your host, Bobbit. Sorry I'm not sound too enthusiastic. I had a rough day, but I can get through it, I swear. Joining me tonight on this semi-decent show tonight is, always, the Cold Bone and the Gothic Princess Heather. How are y'all tonight?
I'm doing okay. Sorry, I'm doing okay. I rolled my ankle again, but plus we have a fussy one, and other than that, we're doing good. Unless we put Wendy outside, we're gonna have to deal with her whining. So that's all.
And as always, we're glad to have her back. So, Ronnie, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Hope everybody's start to the weekend's going well.
No, because I rolled my fucking ankle.
Oh, I know yours isn't.
And we got also, as always, we got Trexter. How you tonight?
I'm good, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, yeah, we always have you. And last but not least, we got a special guest host, Miss Paige. How you tonight?
My knee hurts. I'm not feeling good, but I'm doing good.
I'm not feeling good. I'm not doing good, but I'm doing good. Whatever. Moving on.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Typical teenager.
Typical fucking teenager.
So
My foot
basically,
hurts. Go ahead.
to sum up everybody on the call, we're all hurting for obvious for weird reasons. So yeah, all right. So, what did you want to lead off today, JP?
What did you want to lead off with today, Bob? It's your show. We talked about this
Oh,
before the
yeah.
show started. You're fucking killing me. Don't make me laugh so hard. It hurts my ankle, asshole.
You laugh so hard that your ankle hurts.
What do you want to start off with?
We can start off with the big dog, big back.
All right, let's talk about the big dog and the big dog being back. I know Ronnie wasn't there on Monday. We didn't get her reaction. I didn't get Paige's reaction. I'm pretty sure Paige liked the reaction, liked what happened. However, I'm going to say this. We talked about this extensively on Tuesday. Again, I don't think it's a work because that thread that we read explained a lot. So I'm thinking that he has the chronic leukemia, which is like him just getting sick, so they treat it, but he doesn't have to do the aggressive treatment that he did if he was an acute leukemia patient. So, and that's the way we read it, and that came from the Leukemia Center in Britain. So they've done research on this, and I'm going off of them. We don't, again, let's rephrase, let's keep in mind, we don't now I'm going based off of him having chronic leukemia with what they did. If he has the acute one, they need to be fucking careful with the way they're fucking doing this. Because if they bring him back too soon, it's gonna fucking ruin it. It's gonna ruin everything that they've done. Now, Roman Reigns is still one of the most over superstars right now because of his quick return. How long will that last? I don't know. But again, everybody, please put the brakes on. This if it's the chronic one, it's not as bad and it's plausible for them to do what they did Monday. Now, keep in mind, anything that he did Monday night really wasn't all that physical. I know that my aunt had brain cancer, and once she recovered, no more than 2-3 months later, she was walking 1.5 miles a day. So that being said, that's a more aggressive cancer than the one that Roman Reigns has. So that being said, and I'm not saying that you are all wrong, but I want everybody to put their brakes on because you don't know the answers. The cancer may have just gone away. It happens. It's called a miracle. They do exist. But
the other thing is, too, they could have caught it right at that onset, too.
We talked about that. It's plausible for him to return that quickly, especially if he has the chronic type of leukemia. So for everybody shitting all over it, you better learn how to fucking read because you are burying yourself by saying, yes, does it make WWE questionable? Of course it does, because there's always questions. It's questionable, but it's plausible. So for everybody out there saying that it's not happening, it's not real, check your facts. Like the fucking hair loss thing. Not everybody loses their hair. That's a known fact with leukemia. They've said it. This leukemia center out of Britain. And it's not WWE made up bullshit. It's a literal center. We looked it up. So that being said, everybody put their brakes on. Ronnie, I know you, I don't know if you watched Raw at all. What do you think?
Yeah, between Twitter and I did watch the Raw episode. I mean, I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's in remission. I saw the Good Morning America interview that he did.
Yep.
So with everything that he said, he never said, which he's not obligated to say. He didn't say what stage he was in, what type that he had, how far gone the illness had taken him. And I feel that people just, I guess, expected him to go home after October when he made the announcement, crawl into bed, do his treatments, and just bury his head in the sand.
Yep.
And he's got a kid. He's got a wife. He's got a family.
Well, apparently
and
he's got
has
more than one kid. He's got
to go
three now.
for.
He does. He has his daughter and he has 2 twin boys.
Yep. So
Right.
I'm totally on board with you here. I mean, I was questioning it, but again, you know, there is that plausibility of being questionable because we all know that fucking WWE will do their shit. That being said, I don't think it's a work. Everybody needs to stop, take a deep breath. And another thing that makes it not a work, or to me not being work, is him being interviewed on ABC
By a
in a
survivor.
morning show by a cancer survivor herself.
Yes.
That makes ABC look really bad if they're in on the work. That just makes them look really bad.
Now, to me, yes, WWE, are they going to capitalize on this?
Of course.
Most definitely, of course. It's any business, but look at it on the other side. How many people, when John Cena went out on injury, oh, he's going to be out 9 months to a year, he was back in 6 months. Did people say, oh, he really wasn't hurt? This was all a work? Because I guess people are looking at it, and Twitter was just, I could not believe some of the stuff I was reading on Twitter.
I know, it was
sickening.
disgusting. It was disgusting, yeah.
And it's like, yes, they didn't know the facts. They don't have the man's medical file in front of them. WWE, to me, was going to do everything and anything that they could for this man if they could.
Right.
And he himself has the passion for the business. So, yes, he was going to do everything and anything he could to get back on track as soon as he could.
Right.
And he did. I mean,
Yep.
he went through the treatment that he did, whatever he did. He
Yep.
can continue to still be on with the treatments.
Yep.
But I agree with you. People need to read up on it. And just because your relative had it does not mean they had the same as he does, or that it was caught at the same precise time.
Or their
And
body
with
reacted the
advancements
same
in
way.
medicine today, before people would go in for cancer treatments for chemo, now you can pop a pill.
Exactly.
Now you can get stem cell, cord blood, anything now, which is different than it was years ago or months ago. There is progression. And this man probably had everything right at his fingertips to get him back to where he needed to be or in the remission status.
Yep.
And yes, he was on a movie set. Nobody knows how long he was on that
See,
set.
that's another thing.
He was
yeah.
on a TV show. Nobody knows how long he was on that
No.
because he wasn't chronicling 24/7 his daily progress.
Well, before
People
you-
say, oh, well, he was at a football game.
Right.
What's he supposed to do? Just lay around or lay in bed and just
Right.
let this consume him? No, his body, his conditioning, everything was a factor. And yes, let him go to a movie. Let him go to a football game.
Yeah.
Do a movie, do a TV show. If he was feeling up to it and could do it, why not?
I agree.
There are people in this world that get up every day that have gone through chemo and go to work a day or two later.
Yep.
They have to continue on with their lives. If they've got children, if they've got family that depend on them. And this man has all that.
Yep.
So, yes, he's not going to just lay around and just let this cancer eat at him or not do the treatments or not care because he wanted to come back.
Right. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. People sitting there saying, well, how come WWE didn't release this information? They can't. HIPAA law does not allow them to reveal any medical information that they have, if any. Roman Reigns does not have to reveal shit to fucking anybody. It's his personal choice. Just because he's on fucking WWE Monday Night Raw doesn't mean that he needs to reveal how, and like Ronnie said, where his cancer and what stage he's at. Anybody that thinks that doesn't know the fucking HIPAA law. Period. Bottom fucking line. I dealt with the HIPAA law. If WWE would have fucking revealed shit without not only Roman Reigns' permission, but the doctor's permission, which in turn Roman Reigns has to sign off and say that they can reveal that information.
It's a legal waiver. That they have to sign.
It is a penalty of $100,000 and 5 to 10 years in prison for the person that reveals that information. the person that revealed it to the WWE, and the WWE themselves will be punished. So for people sitting there saying, well, we need to know what his status is, they ain't got to tell you shit.
Right, and to me, that's the respect that he deserves. That is his private life, and he didn't even have to come out in October, other than to say he was taking a hiatus. He was dropping the belt, and then people would have been speculating, oh, is he sick, or is there backstage politics? He had the decency to at least let us know what was going on. He comes back with an update, and then everybody is now got the conspiracy wheel going.
Of course.
Because he's not elaborating. Well, he didn't really elaborate other than to tell us back in October he is got leukemia. And that's his.
Did you want to add something to this? Oh, hold on a second. Oh,
baby girl.
What happened?
Heather, you go ahead. If what? Oh my God. What do you have to add to the topic?
It's basically, yes, Roman Reigns was on a movie set, and he said, like, he's doing this. It's like, yeah, you realize that's part of a haka, right?
Oh yeah, that dance that they do. That was
pose that he has a picture of.
With him and The Rock. Yeah, that's that's.
And everybody's sitting there saying, if he's not doing anything physical, what's this? It's a fucking dance. Go look it up.
And it's not physical. I've seen it. It's just quick movements. Other than that,
I mean, there was only a couple pictures out there.
Yeah.
He was doing the movie. He was doing the TV show. He was at a football game. He was photographed with a police officer. Okay, well, that started in October, November, December, January, February. That many pictures. Nobody knows what he was doing in between all that. He could have been seeking the treatment. He could have been bed rest a couple weeks. But because it wasn't chronicled 24/7 and people didn't know what he was doing, they just picked what pictures were posted and dissected those pictures. And, oh, well, he's well enough to do a movie. Oh, he's well enough to sit at a football game. That is therapy.
Key is well enough to sit at a football game, not be involved in the football game, you indignant fucking retards. Now, that being said, let's get the point of view of the 15-year or 14-year-old in this situation. You're a fan of Roman, correct, Paige?
No, Hayden is.
Well, you don't mind him, I'm guessing.
He's all right. I mean,
so as a 15, 14-year-old girl, 14, 15-year-old girl, what do you think about this situation? You know what's going on, right? You understand the difference between reality and
storyline.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you tell me, what do you think?
I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's in remission. But again, what JP said, hold your horses. It's not like he's just gonna come out and then say, oh, well, I'm coming back.
Well,
I'm gonna start wrestling again. It's gonna take him time, guys.
Well, he kinda did. Did you watch Raw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only a little bit of it. I didn't watch all of it.
Well, then you didn't see the end. Did you see his segment with him and Seth Rollins?
Mhm.
Okay, so you seen him do 3 Superman punches and a spear, right?
Okay. Yeah, then I'm saying, like, hold your horses, because it's gonna take him time still.
Like I said, again, if it's the chronic one, I think he's good to go. They did say it was plausible for him to return to in-ring competition. That being said, let's get into, and I know Trek and Bob, we talked about this extensively both Monday and Tuesday. So we pretty much know the stance where they stand, but if you guys want to give a brief synopsis of where you guys stand on the situation, go ahead. Good talk. So apparently they don't give a fuck. So anyway, moving on. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
well, I was waiting to see if Trey was gonna say anything, but basically the long and short thing about this whole thing is, to the people out there that say work, just shut up. Nobody cares about your opinion. It's irrelevant.
Well, nobody cares about the opinion
And the
of
whole
those that
hair
think
loss
it's a
thing,
shoot either.
my
But go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
my grandma had cancer and she didn't lose her hair, so everybody's going to be the same.
Did she go through chemotherapy though?
Yes.
Okay.
My grandfather had prostate cancer. He never lost his hair after
So
chemotherapy.
there you go, people. Just because you get chemotherapy doesn't mean you're going to lose your hair.
Well, and that's any illness. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
you could
everybody's and it's,
right.
it's
Everybody's
stated
immune
in that
system
thing,
is
it
different.
stated it in that thread that everybody is different. Not everybody is the same. So, Trek, what about you? I know we got, just give us a brief summary of what you think.
I'm happy the guy's back. And for all these people who are saying, "Oh, it was work," and "Oh, they wrote this to this storyline," bullshit. That's people wanting to be haters, wanting to be assholes. They can shove it up their ass for all I care. It's like they don't want to learn the facts. They just want to speculate and say, "Oh, I know he did this." You don't know the man.
What are they
Kiss
going to
my
shove? What are they
ass.
going to shove up their ass?
Their opinion.
They could shove their opinions.
Well,
That they're supposed to eat.
they're just. I would much rather they shove a physical object up their ass. That's what.
What was
Well, that's-
Mick Foley's barbed wire bat's name?
Yeah,
Barbie?
there you go, Barbie. Shove
Barb-
Barbie up your ass. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, look, I'm glad he's back. Was I a little concerned when he came back? If you seen my reaction on Monday, I was like, no, they can't, and they did do it. But then again, when they were doing it, it wasn't like he was going
Running
full
around.
bore. I mean, he looked tired after he did it.
And there was spaces
Yeah.
between each
And
Superman punch
yeah,
and the
there were
spear.
spaces in between his Superman punch, and his spear was very well sold by Drew McIntyre because it was not. It was like Drew McIntyre did most of the fucking work. I mean, Roman Reigns took a couple of steps. Drew McIntyre did the rest. So let's calm down. Let the story happen. If they have a match at WrestleMania like there is rumored, again, this is what I would do. I would not let him get too much. Keep him from getting bumped too many times. Because just because he says he's in remission does not mean he is cleared. He is clear of this. It may come back. Now, again, he has the chronic one, so it will come back. It's just a matter of when. And me and Johnny were talking on Tuesday. We're like, maybe this is why they did what they did with Roman Reigns, because they didn't know how long they were going to have him for.
Right. The last 4 years of him being shoved down our throats is probably because they weren't sure when the leukemia was going to come back or if it was going to come back.
So that doesn't excuse what WWE did. We just making what do you call it?
A prediction?
Not a prediction.
Theory?
There you go. Even though I hate theories, it's just a theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just a theory. There's a difference between a conspiracy theory and a theory.
Our theories are based off of facts.
Huh?
Our theories are based off of facts and evidence.
Possible, the circumstantial evidence, but it's the conspiracy theory is one of those that you could justify the circumstantial evidence.
You want more?
The other thing is too, with bringing him back like this too, they do kind of have to be kind of wary and careful because they do start pushing him and they do start putting him back on that fast track again, and he ends up getting sick again. Then you're going to have everybody coming back again, just like they have with the speculation. It was all fake, and this was a work, and this is disgusting for WWE to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if it does end up, because he can wear himself down to the point that he literally can make himself sick.
Yep.
with
With
the
all the
schedule
traveling.
that with road shows and press release conferences and doing the TV tapings, pay-per-views. They really do have to just kind of really monitor his endurance levels.
Well, it's
And
not even that. They just need to be careful, be wary of getting him right back into the 20, 25-minute fucking matches. Because if
Right.
they do that, then they're fucking burning themselves in the ass by doing it. And Basement, I will justify you. He just
Especially
said,
since those matches, fucking most of them, he was getting his ass handed to him, and then he made a comeback around.
right. So that being said, I think they're basically what they should do at WrestleMania, if they're going to do the match, is have him come out there, tag him in at the end, have him do a couple of Superman punches, maybe take a punch, and then, or something, and work it to where he can get it to where he can spear the guy, and then end the match. Let him pin. Let him make the pin. I think they're gonna push Seth. I think Seth is gonna win the title, and they're gonna push Seth, and let Roman get back into it, and have Roman turn on Seth.
I'm thinking the other. I'm thinking that they're going to keep it on Lesnar and then push towards SummerSlam and have Lesnar and Roman.
I don't think Brock Lesnar is going to stay. I think he's leaving. I think he's stepping away from WWE. They can't just keep the title on him just to keep the title on, because they don't know. Roman Reigns may not fucking be in the plans. Just because he's back doesn't mean shit. They can't change everything just because he's back. They need to continue with what they're doing, because right now they're actually telling some very intriguing stories, in my opinion. So yeah. The next storyline, what did we have for topic number 2, Bobbit? If any of you want to ask me questions or anything like that, or any one of us, don't be afraid to ask. You can find me in the Drama Free Zone, or you can find me on Twitter at JPBaker91, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. Other than that, there's really nothing more. I think we've hit all points on this topic. We talked about. I wanted to keep it to a like.
There's one other little point here. It may not be WWE wanting to bring him back so quick. He may be wanting to get back himself.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That could be. And I don't know if y'all heard Heather. She said it could be him saying he wants to come back. WWE may not want to push him, but I doubt that. But that could be.
I think the next thing is the Ronda Becky thing.
Well, let's talk about Kofi, and let's talk about Kofi, the Kofi Kingston debacle. It is, and it's like, oh my god, fucking Twitter went fucking ape shit on fucking Tuesday night too, because Vince McMahon overstepped it, or had to put his hands in fucking everything. Look, guys, it's fucking. I think this one's storyline. To be honest with you, I think they're going to put the chances of Kofi Kingston main eventing. And I'm saying main eventing WrestleMania, and I'll explain why when we talk about the Becky Ronda thing. Main eventing WrestleMania is because right now Kofi Kingston is the most over WWE superstar in the WWE, including Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch and her... We'll kind of combine the two, since we're kind of talking about both of them. The feud between Becky and Ronda is no longer a work. It is now a shoot. I think Ronda may have walked away from WWE. There's a video out there where it's just her video where she can walk away. She'll just say, you don't have to buy out my fucking contract. You don't have to fucking pay me. I don't need the money, is essentially what she was saying. She laid down her title. I think she literally laid down her title and walked away. To be honest with you, WWE and Becky Lynch ruined that feud by her keeping on showing up.
Yep. Even through injury.
I said it weeks ago. They need to keep Becky away from fucking TV. Because if they don't, it's going to ruin the feud. And it ultimately has. Becky and Ronda, to me, I don't know, Basement. I watched that video. I hope you're right. I hope they do bring Becky and Ronda back. Or Ronda comes back. But I don't know, man. She ultimately said, it could be. She said she doesn't need it. I think if she walks away for good. She's not even going to go to AEW. But the Kofi Kingston, including Kevin Owens into the match, this is the way I see it going. And we'll talk about what Paige wanted to talk about, because it raises a very important question in the logic gap. But I can answer that logic gap, even though it's still a logic gap. Kevin Owens wins. He beats Daniel Bryan. Kevin Owens then takes on Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania. That's one way they could go. We could also get Daniel Bryan retaining and Kofi Kingston then taking on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. What do you guys think about the Kofi Kingston thing?
I think it's a good way to get them to get him away from Fastlane so they don't burn that match out and just have it WrestleMania in time, just build up the hype.
I think it builds. I think they're building to WrestleMania, and I think Kofi Kingston will be in that match, and I think it'll be the main event. I don't think the women are main eventing. If they do, then it has to be Becky versus Ronda, and that's it. But if it's not, then it's going to be Kofi versus whoever. Bobbit?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
What's your opinion?
What's your opinion?
Oh, sorry. I was getting some out of my eye. Yeah, after what I seen last night on Twitter between those two, I don't care about this feud anymore.
No, it's
they
ruined.
They essentially buried the company.
No, they didn't bury the company. They turned it into a shoot. It's not a work anymore.
It's a shoot.
If you go and
I don't
read,
like that.
I think Ronda literally wants to kick the shit out of fucking Becky Lynch. And everybody on Twitter, oh yeah, you're gonna do that. I guarantee you right goddamn now, all you fucking dumb shit Becky Lynch fans, that Ronda Rousey would fucking break Becky Lynch's arm with one hand tied behind her fucking back. I guarantee you. Becky Lynch, yes, she's a wrestler. She's not an MMA fighter.
Or a judo specialist.
Who
took part in the Olympics.
That being said, I think Becky Lynch has no legit shot at beating fucking Ronda Rousey. The only way that Ronda Rousey would lose to Becky Lynch is if Becky Lynch beat Charlotte. It's the only way. There is no other way. Honestly, I think they should keep them two away from each other, because I think Ronda Rousey literally wants to beat the shit out of her right now. They need to let cooler heads prevail. That's just me. Keep fucking Becky Lynch off of fucking TV for a little while. I'm not saying keep her off TV for fucking 60 days, but keep her off TV for a while, because she's ruining the feud. You gotta let it build. Don't blow it on fucking... Just because everybody wants to see fucking Becky. Fuck the fans. Fuck them. They'll be fine. They'll be even happier when she comes back. So stupid.
Right. Go ahead, JP.
I'm done.
Right, and if Becky's legit injured and they try and rush her back, and the fans keep saying "Bring her back," and she gets rushed back, she risks an even worse injury. And where to get if she gets hurt even more?
So, Ronnie, what about you?
I think they ruined this feud when they put her in the Rumble
But
and
I
let her win
agree.
it.
I agree.
And all it is now is it's immature name calling on
Yeah,
Twitter. It's
It's-
her being the defiant, spoiled brat. Of course, you got Charlotte who's antagonizing it all because she's being the heel and just adding fuel to the fire, and the fans themselves.
I mean,
And
if you look at it, Becky is being more of a heel than any of them are being. And she's supposed to be the baby face in this feud.
She's supposed to be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
She's not, and that's why it's being ruined, is because she's nowhere near Stone Cold Steve Austin fucking status. Stop fucking trying to do it. It's ruining it.
right, it's all about me. It's all about me mentality, the spoiled rich
Yes.
child ego that is, and even her selling with this injury, she's coming down, she's holding the crutch, then she's putting the crutch down, then she's lifting her leg, and then she's yelling as she's going up the ramp like a spoiled rich child
I know.
that's not getting her way.
It's not making, it's all over the place for me.
And the funny thing is, Charlotte's just antagonizing the fans, egging them on because saying that I deserve to be the new Raw Women's Champion because it's vacant. So now she's playing the perfect heel, and people are losing their shit even more when she's probably sitting back in the locker room laughing with Vince.
Well, I mean,
And I mean, even with the Kofi situation, it's this kind of going down that same path. You've got Vince McMahon that came out Tuesday. Oh, Kofi, we're taking you out of this match. Similar to what happened with Daniel Bryan when the Yes Movement started. So now you've got at least 30 some days to build for Kofi to plead his case to put him in that WrestleMania match. And I do think with Kevin Owens being put on SmackDown and against Daniel, it's just because nobody had any plans for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania because a wrench got thrown into the plans, I guess, with Mustafa Ali supposedly going to be in that match, and nobody knows what his status is.
Well, now he's cleared.
So even with that, I mean, that could even change things. But it's just now they're gonna push the fans are behind Kofi. So you've got the actual heel on SmackDown that's playing that role. You've got the
Sure.
face as Kofi.
Be right back,
The
guys.
fans are behind. So there you've got your heel versus face, which I'm thinking Fastlane is going to be Daniel Bryan retaining, which is going to lead up into what they're pushing with Kofi, and then Kofi taking it at Mania if the New Day doesn't get involved.
And they put Kofi over like a champ with Shane's promo the other night that he's been busted his ass for what, 11 years, maybe more than that, and like hasn't ever complained. Very rarely gets injured. The way he does get injured, he just gets even bigger, bigger, bigger.
That being said, I'm gonna do this. Now I have my doubts about this for a second. In regards,
There we go.
why don't you want to talk about it? Jesus Christ. Just give me a second. I have to go to it. I was gonna bring it up today, but just give me a second.
Yeah, they just cleared Mustafa Ali. It just popped up on Wrestling Inc. a couple of hours ago.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a note from Kofi Kingston. So he took a picture of it and then tweeted it out. I needed to take a couple of days to process what has actually happened. Shock, sadness, emptiness, frustration, anger, confusion are but a few feelings on a roller coaster of emotions. Now keep in mind this is coming from Kofi. Bobbit, wake up. My entire career has been a series of ups and downs, starts and stops. I really shouldn't be surprised, but this one hurt. We came so close, and I say we, because this journey has been even bigger than just me. It's Woods' journey, it's Big E's journey, it's every one of you, the fans who have followed and supported my career for the past 11 years. To have it all stripped away so suddenly is painful, to put it mildly. I appreciate you all more than you know, and thank you all for your love and support. Mark my now keep listen to this end of this statement. Mark my words. We will be back. The journey does not end here. That to me is more or less a work. I'm not saying Kofi couldn't write his own shit, and even if it was a shoot, but I would say that pretty much sums it up, and that makes him even more over, in my opinion. Bobbitt, you there? Good time. Anyway, yeah, he's out like a light. Oh shit. So Paige posed a very important question to me after, was it SmackDown, Paige?
Yeah.
How come Kevin Owens is on SmackDown when he was on Raw? I thought he got fired from SmackDown. You are correct. He did get fired from SmackDown. Both him and Sami Zayn did. However, WWE went away from the GMs. Remember I explained to you they went away from the GMs? Daniel Bryan was a GM at the time. He's the one that fired.
No, it was Shane who fired Kevin Owens.
Well, it was both of them. First it was Daniel Bryan, but then Shane McMahon stood by Daniel Bryan's word. So they were fired. So now there is no GMs. It's just Shane, Stephanie, Triple H, and Vince are running the shows now. Now, storyline, I think they're getting ready to write Vince out. And I think he's physically going to take a step back, and they're going to let Triple H run the show, along with Shane and Stephanie. So you're going to see some stuff changing here very soon, I think. But to answer your question, and then I'll get everybody's thoughts, is they did away with that storyline of him getting fired. Because if I remember correctly, there's a couple of others that, like they have EC3 and all them guys that really aren't on a particular show. They're floating. So that being said, that's why I think that it is, like I said, more or less they're done away with that storyline.
Well, now I don't think they entirely did, because if you watched when Vince came out, if you saw Shane's face,
I understand. This is where that dissension is going to come in.
That's where I said they're building something to create a storyline between the McMahons.
Like Kevin Owens will lose. That's why I think Kevin Owens will lose, and then you're going to get the storyline build from there. And
but you also have to recall too, you had the storyline with Kevin Owens and how he slapped Vince McMahon, and Stephanie came out, and that could also come back into play.
But Heather brought up a very good point to me with that. What was it again?
There's going to be a build.
No, the storyline with Kevin Owens slapping Vince.
But that was actually something that was between Kevin Owens and Shane. That's what that storyline was. But Kevin Owens had asked Vince McMahon, I have the right to do anything I want to any McMahon if provoked, correct? And Vince said yes. And that's when Kevin Owens headbutted Vince.
Because he provoked him. I think he threatened him or something like that. So that's where that came from. So I think ultimately that storyline has been, except for what Heather brought up. God bless that child.
Bless you.
So I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it. But we've hit the Becky and Ronda thing, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Everybody kind of agrees with me on the Becky and Ronda thing. You don't have to agree with me. If you feel differently, please say so. I'm so over this fucking feud. It's not working. Whatever WWE, they had it and then they fucked it up. So I don't know. Right now, I'm going based off the fact of what Rhonda has been fucking saying. I don't think it's a work, people.
And
I really
been doing
don't.
on her personal YouTube page.
And on her personal YouTube page. She don't need WWE. WWE needs her.
Exactly. She is their big money catch. She already has her money. Oh, baby girl.
So, and that's one big point that WWE is missing here, and this is where Triple H has got to step in and say, look, guys, because he said personally, I think it was a fantastic move, business wise. If she does it again, she's going to jail. But Vince has got the storyline. I think they're going to hopefully they're going to fucking tell Vince, no, we're not doing this. Charlotte, you're not in the match. Becky, you're in. You're unsuspended. It's Becky versus Ronda at WrestleMania. And then Vince will come in and he'll say something. He'll be like, okay, how about this? And then that's when they'll have the Becky versus Ronda. I guarantee it, they're going to bring that back. It's taken out, but I'm pretty sure they'll bring it back this week. They'll figure something
I'm
out.
thinking they're just going to keep it as the triple threat, and Becky's going to pin Charlotte, or Charlotte's going to pin Becky, and Ronda's not even going to be a factor in
Right now it's not
taking
even a triple threat.
pinfall.
It's just Ronda versus Charlotte.
No, right now it's just Charlotte.
Right, it's just Charlotte and
No,
Ronda right now, but I'm saying that they're gonna still keep it as a triple.
Ronda walked away.
Yeah, I saw her lay the belt down.
She
saw her
walked
take
away. So right
keys
now,
to make the
Charlotte
decision.
does not have an opponent at WrestleMania. There is no Raw women's title match right now.
Yeah, Charlotte's saying she's gonna show up on Raw and she expects to be given the belt. No fuss, no muss.
Okay.
So that's where that stands right now. So, but we'll see what happens Monday. I don't know what's gonna happen after that. What was the other thing we were gonna talk about? Fucking
Bruce
Bob.
Pritchard.
Okay, let's talk about Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard. Everybody's saying that Bruce Pritchard is WWE's yes man, or Vince's right hand man, or yes man.
Meanwhile, back in the day, and he admitted this himself on his podcast with Conrad, he was a fucking asshole, and therefore that's why he was fired.
Well, also he brought a gun to work. That too.
Yes, but he didn't bring a gun to work because he was going to do something with it.
No,
it's just they had a no gun policy, and that's why he got fired. He didn't get fired because he was going to fucking use it.
Like he said, he was an asshole.
Well, he was fucking drunk or high at the time, I think. So Bruce Pritchard being signed as part of the creative team. He produced the Batista segment. I'm not a fan of Batista. Not gonna lie, I did not like the Triple H versus Batista match the first time. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm excited to see Batista back. Sorry, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stand by my ground. That is the reason why I don't want to see the match. I don't want to see Batista and Triple H. Because I didn't like it the first time. The build up to that match was really good, but then the match itself was shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, but this also started back on that SmackDown 1000 show.
Oh, I knew it was, but I knew it was.
He wanted to come back for just one more run anyway, and this, you know how Triple H is. He's got to insert himself into WrestleMania.
No, that's the one run Batista ever wanted. Was just
Right,
yeah.
Triple H.
I mean, why does he want to fight? He already has. He's beat him. Triple H has never beat him. I don't know why he needs to fight Triple H. That's why I don't get it. I just don't get why he needs to be involved in this shit. Why WWE pulling the trigger because he was in talks with AEW as well. That's the only reason he's there. Trek, what do you think?
I wouldn't mind seeing it. I saw it before. I thought it was okay back then because I liked the storyline. I like how that they're trying to make him leave so he could be on SmackDown way back in the day, and then he won't fight them. As for the Bruce Pritchard thing, we found out today on his podcast he's not leaving. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to do any more live tours because he wants it to be 100%, and he can't give that to it. But Conrad, when they started off, Conrad sounded very sad and stuff. But I think it was just part of the story they were telling. But as far as I know, that the podcast is gonna keep going, and he said there might be some scheduling blips, but he said he doesn't expect there to be. And then he did not say. Yep, I know, Wendy. He did not say anything about the show coming back to WWE Network. But I would have to imagine that that's probably going to happen later on anyway.
Okay. Paige, I don't know if you know anything about Batista Triple H. If you haven't, go back and watch WrestleMania 21. And you can.
Okay.
So yeah, we'd get Bobbitt's thoughts, but he's sleeping. The last thing I want to talk about, and I don't care. Ultimate Warrior's wife, Dana, was signed to the writing team. I want to know one thing. Hopefully she can write, but if she can't, why in the fuck is she part of the writing team? What does she have over Vince McMahon and WWE that she needs to be involved in something? That's my only question for it. If she can give, I'll give her a chance. But if I see the women's, because she's apparently going to be writing for the women's storylines, if she can't make the women's storylines work, get rid of her. Now they did say that this was not a full-time basis; it was a trial basis. So I don't know what their plans are. I read the article on it today, so
She can't even fucking plan her husband's award properly.
See, and I thought this was all part of that because this started up this month, that Girl Up Women's History Month, which starts March 1st. They make
Okay.
the announcement today, and she was always a part of anything involving the women. So that's why I was thinking, since this is only a trial basis and this is the perfect month to do this because she's got the two girls too, that it's more promotional than anything.
I hope you're right because I don't know how good of a writer she really is.
Well, she fucked up her husband's award anyway.
What do you mean?
It's no longer for the people in the back.
Well, it never was to begin with.
Yes, it was. Did you not listen to Bruce Pritchard today on the podcast?
I didn't listen to Bruce Pritchard on the podcast. He didn't say anything about Dana Warrior.
No, but he said the Warriors award used to be for the people in the back. When Warrior first started it.
Okay, well, what the fuck ever, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Fucking Hall of Fame's a fucking joke anyway to me, so I don't care. I don't care. Not the one.
And even with the writing, and I noticed this again this week, they did these NXT call-ups they promoted for weeks.
They aren't calling them call-ups anymore, which is really good. Which they're actually floating. If you watched NXT, they are not calling them call-ups. They are floating because Sasha and Bayley showed up on NXT Wednesday and said,
maybe next time we come back, we'll be defending them.
So they need to incorporate NXT into the main roster.
And that's what I was getting ready to say, because it's like you had Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano, you had Ricochet, you had Aleister Black, and then again this week, and they're not using them in the singles capacity, but it's like, okay, you've already got ones that you're not even using. You got one that comes up and down a ramp who hasn't done diddly squat since the Rumble.
Right.
And then you got one that disappeared. You got EC3, who is now losing every time he's in the ring.
Yeah, but he's losing on shows that nobody cares. He's losing on matches that nobody cares about. It's not like it's... I mean, yeah, it's known that he's losing, but you got to remember it's not building to any storyline.
Well, and see, that's the thing. They're just, it's like they're throwing them into these matches and they're not really using them storyline wise. And then you've got ones that are waiting in the wings to be used in a storyline, and then they're suffering because they're not even put on TV now because you're using the NXT call ups. Well, not call ups, but the floating between NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. It's like, okay, we had the Raw brand, we had the SmackDown brand, we had the NXT brand, and now you've got everybody just appearing on everybody's show now.
Which I don't mind, which is the way it should be.
Yeah, because eventually they're gonna get rid of the brand split anyway. So.
I'm gonna say this. You said something about shit. What was it? And it was something that I wanted to bring up. Tommaso Ciampa. He's hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Yep.
I did see that.
I don't know how hurt, but apparently he's hurt. There was something else that you said that triggered something in my head, and letting you talk. As this is why I interrupt all the time, and it's not against anybody. But if something pops in my head, I lose it like right away. So I had a thought, and it was to your point.
What about, was it with using the call-ups instead of talent that's not been on?
Oh, EC3. EC3, I think, is being punished. And I've told you guys to go back and watch that Evolve show where him and Drew McIntyre. This is why Drew McIntyre, he's getting that push, but he's being punished right now because of what they said about WWE. So it's going to take them time. They're doing the Triple H punishment with them. They will get their push. Everybody needs to calm down. Because this is the thing that drives me freaking nuts. Well, how come they're burying EC3? I seem to remember that Triple H was being buried because of what they did
with Scott Hall
with the Click coming out on Madison Square Garden in 1995 or 1996. Who was the one that got buried then? Wasn't fucking Shawn Michaels. It wasn't Six or X-Pac or 123 Kid. It was Triple H. Was buried for how long was it? Like a year? Almost a year.
Yeah.
So WWE has their way. They're still going to get their push. But that's how WWE punishes people. And I don't mind it.
New writers too, so it's just a matter of getting them acclimated too, and getting the storylines under the new writers because they got rid of Arn Anderson and.
Well, Arn Anderson's a producer. He's not a writer.
Well, and even with bringing, like I said, I think with this Dana Warrior thing, I think this is just for that Girl Up month promotion. I don't really think anything's going to stick with her.
Right.
But
it could just be something like with
things they're implementing and putting in place, and we just haven't seen it full-fledged yet with what it's like. They're throwing everything into one basket again and pulling. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's go this route. Let's go that route. Of course, then you got Roman that came back, so that's something else into the mix. So they've got their hands and fires in the their pans in the oven. They're cooking. It's just a matter of what comes out. Are you going to get something decent with what they've got put together, or are you just going to get basically a slop that's thrown together? And let's see if this holds any water.
Right. So anyway, I think they're done with all the previous storylines. Now they're starting newer storylines. They started doing their newer storylines right after Royal Rumble. They ended a couple of little feuds, but now they're moving on to newer storylines. So, yeah. Other than that, I think we pretty much hit everything tonight, haven't we? Is there anything else that anybody else wants to talk about?
The only other thing I heard was that, what's his wife's name? Gosh dang it. Candice LeRae was supposedly going to be on SmackDown this week, and they pulled it because they're still trying to let her get some traction in NXT, but I don't know how reliable that is.
I can believe it because she's not really being utilized on NXT. Yeah. So how is she building traction? They can't build traction if they aren't going to show her.
Right.
Other than that, I think we're pretty good. that we're gonna end it here because Bobbit fell asleep. So I guess I will close the show. Next week, we will have, what is it? Fast Bobs is going to be included. We will do our predictions and such for Fastlane, which is on Sunday. We'll be in a hotel. That's fine. Get it whatever. Yeah, we can.
Not like this.
Oh shit, that's right. Shit, I may not be able to stream Fastlane. I'll let everybody know how we're gonna fucking do it. Because I have to go on a business trip and everybody will be out of town. So I'll let y'all know, but we'll give our predictions. I may not even be able to do Friday.
Yeah.
I just thought of that. Might have to do it Thursday. Because I'll be out of town Friday. Good God. But if we do Thursday, we will be doing on Wrestling Memories, as well as probably might be doing our predictions on Thursday as well. On Thursday, we're doing WrestleMania 17. It's Bobbit's birthday, and he wanted to do WrestleMania 17, and I said, sure, why not? And then the week after that, we will go back to doing. We will do the feud between Lita and Trish again. We're gonna redo it because we didn't really do very good on it, so I want to redo it again. That being said, I think that's pretty much it. Paige, you got anything you want to add? Good talk. Paige!
Yeah.
Do you got anything?
Sorry.
Yeah? Do you got anything you want to add? Okay. Ronnie?
Nope, I'm good. I think with everything that went on this week and seeing what happens Monday in Philly
Take
with
her the fuck
Roman
out of here.
and
It's driving me fucking
the
nuts.
show.
Driving you nuts.
Oh my God, this child, I swear to God. It's like she has to be held. It's really fucking annoying.
She's fighting sleep right now. That's the problem. It's not that she wants to be held, she's fighting sleep. The answer is not always, she just wants to be held.
You need a happy pill. You need to fucking start drinking. Jesus Christ.
I wish I could, but I gotta feed a baby.
Trek, you got anything you want to add?
I thought this week was really good for wrestling. We had 2 good shows back to back. NXT was decent. I mean,
was okay.
let's see where they go. Let's see where they go from here, and hopefully, all the haters could shove Barbie up their ass.
Okay, I was gonna say what the fuck you talking about. That being said, I don't have anything else. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Ronnie, it's glad to have you back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Hopefully Gina will be back next week. She's been sick, so been a sickly human being this winter. She's been sick a lot. So shout out to him or her. If you haven't, get over there and give well wishes to Johnny. He's not only is he fighting injuries, he was in an accident yesterday. He's okay. He's a little sore, he said. But go over there, give him well wishes. Plus, his grandfather is sick, so go over there, give him well wishes. Try and lift his spirits up. I will see you guys on Derailed. I won't be there very long because I have to go up and see my dad on Sunday. I need to get up and see him. He got out of the hospital a couple weeks ago, so.
What happened?
He's fine. He's fine. We'll talk in a minute. So that being said, you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you all tomorrow night. Bye-bye, bitches!